again, and welcome to Ironhome, a solo actual play where I, Sophia, play Ironsworn Starforged in a variety of different settings. For today's settings, according to our popular vote, we have Fantasy Court Intrigue prepared. I am going to be playing Brianna Cade, the Court Mystic. So, let's get right to it. Alright, so I imagine it's dawnbreak, the very silky, expensive curtains of Brianna's balcony move a little bit with the wind as the first rays of light begin to break and fall on her face. She shuffles around in bed, eventually getting up out of bed. She walks towards the balcony. She is a very tall woman, very long, straight brown hair, and she is currently wearing a light green sleeping gown. She walks out to the balcony and glances over the many campfires outside the city walls, the encampments of the siege currently engaged with the city. She sees that more and more camps are appearing. She thinks to herself, more joining the traitor's side every day. From down far below in the city's underbelly, you can hear the echoing cries of an agitator calling to bring an end to the ruthless reign of Queen Kayla and to open the gates for her sister Kiera to free us from her tyranny. Brianna thinks to herself that agitator will probably be in the Spy Master's dungeons before lunch. She walks over to her cupboard and mirror and begins preparing herself for the day. It is going to be a very lively day at court. News of the envoy that was sent to seek a secret alliance. News that the envoy was captured has reached the council's ears. The queen will not be happy about this, and likely there is a traitor in our midst. Brianna dresses with a loose but practical red fiery gown, and she wears earrings made of a very radiant orange stone, as well as a matching necklace. She is known in the noble circles for her powers, particularly her powers of manipulating fire, and she likes to prod at that and remind people of that with the way she dresses. It helps with persuading them sometimes. So she gets prepared, and let's change the music a little bit. Let's go another one with peaceful, because I like it. She leaves her bedroom and encounters outside for a few meters down a corridor, these very fancy stone corridors, pillars, very, very fancy walls. She encounters Ragnar Murat, the court physician, a haggard, indifferent, and cruel man. He sees Brianna and says, "Oh, Brianna, are you headed to the court? To the council?" And Brianna says, "Yes, Counselor. Are you headed there too?"
I says, yes, I was just headed that way. It's good that I crossed paths with you. You see, I have this problem.
"Do tell," Brianna says as she extends her elbow so that Ragnar may take it, and they walk together.
You see, a few of the nobles, they are convinced that Kiera is cursing them, sending curses to wreak havoc among the nobility. I've tried to convince them that I see nothing wrong with them. No vitals, nothing that could suggest anything is wrong with them, but they will not listen to a physician. They would listen to a mystic, perhaps.
Brianna smiles politely at this, and she says, Curses are a very difficult spell to enact. They require very delicate preparations, and not to mention belongings of the one being cursed. I doubt Kiera has the resources for such a massive cursing, but worry not, Ragnar. I will look into this. And she and she places a very like a very light touch on her necklace, and she says, "I swear it by my allegiance to the crown and the Sorcerer's Guild." And let's make a vow. All right. Look into the curse, quote unquote, cursed nobles. We'll make it troublesome. Keep it simple. And Ragnar says, "Thank you very much," as they continue to walk down. So, let's swear an iron vow. No bonuses. Not on this one. Heart of 3. Let's see how it goes with this one. Excellent. You are emboldened, and it is clear what you must do next. Take +2 momentum. All right. So we know we just have to go visit these nobles, and I mean, obviously there's nothing wrong with them, or is there? But for now, we must go to the council meeting. Outside the council doors. And do we have any sneaky music? Any suspense sneaky music? No, that's too suspenseful. Ooh, what about this one? This was a new one. Came out this week. If not, we'll go for Peaceful Wonder. Let's just go as Peaceful Wonder. All right. So, we are approaching the council chambers. And outside the council chambers, we see Rowena Hunter, the treasurer. And she is talking to Arnev Barbosa, the captain of the Queen's Guard. Rowena is alluring, threatening, and infamous, and desires power above all else. And Arnev Barbosa, captain of the Queen's Guard, is wiry, unfriendly, stern, and wants to bring honor to his family. They seem to be talking in hushed voices about something, not necessarily hushed or ear to ear, but just in front of each other. When they see us approach, they turn. Rowena very politely smiles and slightly bows, and she says, "Counselors?" Arnev Barbosa, stern, grimace, angry face, looks at us and says, "Counselors." And there is a bit of a tension as everyone is just very quiet, staring. Arnav is staring around the room, the walls, pretending to be busy admiring the paintings. Rowena is glancing at Brianna, and Brianna pretends not to notice. Ragnar is simply staring at nothing as he awaits. Eventually, the last two counselors arrive, accompanied by the Queen Argus-Sayer, the lore keeper. They are adorned, suspicious, and grief-stricken after recently losing their companion to illness. And they are seeking to protect their child. Bruna Nazari, the spy master. She is eccentric, demanding, powerful, and her goals are unknown. She always has the Queen's ear, and right now, she is on the Queen's left side, talking, whispering. Finally, we have Queen Kayla Sedano herself. She is poised, curious, and relaxed. Her goal is to maintain the status quo and keep the peace. Also very serious. As she walks towards us, everyone, the counselors, the four counselors, including Brianna, part to let her pass through the door. And they bow. Arnav walking to open the door and let her in. Everyone walks in to the council chambers. The council chambers have a large open balcony with a view of the city and the siege outside, but recently Queen Kayla has ordered the balcony closed and the curtains shuttered, so there's very little natural light, and it's mostly torchlight and candles right now in the council chamber. She does not like the sight of the siege constantly in these meetings. A very long, dark oak table fills the room, and we all take place around it. A few council members cough. And then the matters of business slowly begin to take place, as Rowena, the treasurer, begins to explain in detail how much gold the city has left and how they're managing the siege and the food supplies and so forth. Arnav Barbosa talks about the potential riots that the guard has had to quell in different neighborhoods, and how he is running low on soldiers to keep watch of the different parts of the city. Ragnar, he warns of the dangers of a closed city and the beginnings of what could possibly be a plague. Not having everyone locked inside and everything. It's very dangerous, and he talks of, the preventions that must be taken and so forth and so on. Argus, the lore keeper, tries to insert bits of pieces of history and how previous queens have dealt with these situations and these things and so forth. And Bruna Nazari is very silent and just watching everyone else as they give their opinions and so forth. Finally, and here I think would be great to change song. Let's see if we can change to another one. Here we go. Finally, the queen looks at Brianna and she says, "What do you think, Lady Kate?" The whole court turns to look at her. She pauses to create the expectation that she has not already thoroughly thought this through. She says, oh, sorry, at one point, before all this, Queen Kayla talks about the caught envoy. Yes, this is very important. I was like, brain, what did you do there? So basically, Queen Kayla mentions the caught envoy, and then the whole court goes quiet. And then they begin talking about, a potential traitor, this, that, someone has betrayed us. And then they all begin to say what must be done and this and that. And it gets heated. And then at that point, the queen says, enough. Lady Kate, what do you think? And after that pause, Brianna thinks, I believe it is worth asking ourselves why Kiera captured this envoy and then hung him, executed him, hung him on display for all of us to see. Queen Kayla replies, because she is a brute. Brianna nods, says, of course, my grace, but she is also crafty. After all, as you say, she has clearly established a spy in the court. The spy master said that the secret tunnel that the envoy was to use was known by no one outside of this room. So, she says, I believe the real reason Kiera has done this is to send you a message, my grace. To tell you that you are surrounded by liars and schemers, and that one of, or more, among your midst seek to betray you. You see, my grace, I believe Kiera seeks to destabilize this small council, to create a witch hunt amongst us. She smiles at the use of the word witch hunt. You see, I believe that is their true intention. And what do you suggest? Replies the queen. Brianna says, I believe we should try to move on as best as we can without losing focus. Bruna Nazari, the spy master, looks at her and says, that is exactly the kind of thing that would benefit said spy. Giving them time to prepare. Brianna smiles back and says, yes. It would also give them time to lower their guard. Bruna and Brianna share one of these polite false smiles. The rest of the counselors kind of like, whisper among themselves and so forth. At one point, the queen says, everyone, leave the room. I wish to speak to Lady Kate alone. The spy master, Bruna, says, But your grace, I said leave. Everyone stands up to leave. Brianna stays there, poised and calm, as everyone leaves the room, the door closing behind. Queen Kayla looks at her and says, oops. Sorry, 1 second. Sorry about that. Doorbell. Whoom. Queen Kayla looks at Brianna and says, are you plotting something, Lady Kate? You are as perceptive as always, my queen. I was planning on spying on the counselors and rooting out this traitor among our midst. The queen glances at her and says, And how can I be sure that you are not the traitor? And Brianna looks down, smiling, and she says, I don't know, my queen. Is your sister better in bed? And at that, the queen raises an eyebrow, and they both burst out into a laugh, relaxing for a moment from all the courtly tension. Kayla sighs, recovering, and she looks at Brianna and says, find this traitor as quickly as you can. Brianna nods, putting her hand to the orange, glowing, slightly glowing necklace, and she says, I swear on the crown and the Sorcerer's Guild that I will root this traitor out. Excellent. So let's add another root the traitor out. Make it another troublesome vow. Why not? Keep it simple. Because, oh wow, it's already been 20 minutes. I am so sorry for that. A lot of exposition in today's game. So let's go ahead and swear another iron vow. Oh, that's a miss. That's a miss. You must overcome a significant obstacle before you begin your quest. Envision what stands in your way. What stands in our way? Excellent. I love getting a miss on a swear an iron vow. Let's see. Lose belief. Oh, wow. Lose belief. And what else do we have? Isolated path. Lose belief. Okay, lose belief. I know what happens. Before we can even begin this quest, Brianna stands up, and the queen suddenly kind of falls back on her chair as if just having this huge weight on her, and her expression just goes tired, and Brianna crosses the gap from the other side of the table, kneels down next to her, and grabs the queen's hand. She says, Kayla, is everything all right? And the queen looks at her and says, I am tired, Brianna. I don't know how much longer I can go on. First my sister, and now this. Should I fear a knife in the back while I sleep? And Brianna holds her hand tight. She says, not while I keep watch over you. So, this is going to be a, what is it? So basically the queen is losing her resolution, and Brianna must try to raise her spirits to, let's see. This would obviously be develop your relationship, face danger, compel. What move would this be? Oh yes, when you try to persuade someone, encourage them. Okay, so basically Brianna is trying to encourage the queen to raise her spirits, to push on a little further, she says. Brianna says, your sister cannot hold the siege for forever. We will find out this traitor, and then we will seek out allies, and we will turn her away. You are the rightful ruler, Kayla. Not your sister. All right. So this is a compel heart. Oh, wait. Yes, let's go. Compel with heart. Awesome. strong hit. They'll do what you want or agree to your conditions. Kayla holds Brianna's hands tighter. She looks at her and says, "You always know what to say." She stands up and says, "Go. I'll be fine." Brianna says, Are you sure?" "Yes. Now go before you make me angry," she says with a smile. And Brianna smiles, nodding, and walks out of the room. All right, so now we can finally start our quests. All right, so who shall we investigate on first? Let's go ahead and change our music. Who shall we investigate on first? Bruna Nazari, the spy master, thinks Brianna as she's walking down the hallways. Seems quite an unlikely traitor. Having organized everything and the envoy and everything, it would seem very counterproductive to suddenly sabotage herself in such a way, though a possibility. August the Lawkeeper, they don't really have anything to gain from this. Arnav Barbosa, quite the loyal captain's guard, unlikely. Rowena Hunter, the treasurer. There are quite many rumors around her, and she is very power hungry. Perhaps we can investigate her first. All right, so what do we know about Rowena? Where does she spend her time? What does she do? Where does she go? This is very interesting. Can we gather some information on her? Why not? Let's do that. Let's kill two birds with one stone. We are going to go to these nobles that are hanging around here inside the keep and look into this story of cursed nobles while trying to find out what they know about Rowena. So that's going to be two things in one go, and let's see what happens with that. So we are going to gather some information, and let's see how that goes. It's a weak hit. On a weak hit, the information provides new insight, but also complicates your quest. Envision what you discover, then take +1 momentum. All right. How does it complicate our quest, and which quest does it complicate? Let's see. Release secret. Oh, that's not good. That's never good. Breached threshold. Oh. Release secret. So I think the following happens. I'm going to say that several of the nobles have seen Rowena, is it? Yes, Rowena. Have seen Rowena leaving the fort, heading into town, and coming back at late hours with her guard escort. So that's definitely very suspicious. I mean, everyone leaves the keep with their guard escort and everything, but Rowena's been seen coming back at strange hours. So we are going to have to perhaps follow Rowena and see where she is heading to see if we find out anything. As for the cursed nobles, I'm gonna say that a lot of it seems to be nonsense and just plain old superstitions and fears, and Brianna tries to calm them down, to feel safe to say, okay, and maybe she even says, I will inscribe some protective runes around the keep to protect you from any of these curses entering, But one definitely catches her attention, and one of the nobles, a nobleman, claims to have the same nightmare every night. That one she pays attention to, and she definitely investigates. But first, I'm going to see something. Alright, so she's going to try to compel the nobles that everything is fine. She's going to craft some arcane runes, not to worry about it. So this is going to be with heart. And that is a strong hit with a match. Excellent. Yes. The nobles are obviously very persuaded in this. They are very grateful, very thankful, and see Lady Cade in a much greater light. And as for the match, I'm going to say that we can. They maybe owe us a favor now. I think that would be really interesting. But as we wait to head out and follow Rowena, we are going to check on this noble that keeps having this recurring nightmare that might be something interesting to investigate. It might be a real menace or a real problem. Infested plant. Interesting. Dice, get out of the way. Infested plant. Serve truth. So I imagine let's go with some, oh yeah, this one's perfect. So I imagine this nobleman tells us of the dream. He finds himself in the court gardens when he suddenly sees the plants around begin to rot and fester, and then vines burst out, and they reach for him, grabbing him by the legs, dragging him as he screams, his nails scratching on the ground, bleeding as he yells, and he yells for help. He looks up, and the castle is slowly being overgrown with these terrible vines and plants, and he looks around and he sees in the ground, and it's just full of different people's heads buried in, their eyes completely white, as he slowly gets dragged in, screaming for his life. He gets turned around his head, and he sees the giant tree of white flowers in the courtyards, completely rotten and decrepit, dried up, and from its branches, Queen Kayla herself hanging dead. And at that moment, just as the earth begins to eat and swallow him whole, he wakes up screaming and sweating. Brianna listens attentively, worry in her brow at this. And she says, "Thank you for telling me this. I will look into this." And she takes out from a small bag she has and hands him a small plant. And she says, "Every night, a small, like not a plant, sorry, a small, a bunch of leaves, like a little branch with lots of leaves." And she says, "Every night, before you go to sleep, chew one of these, and your dream should go away. Thank you." And she heads towards the gardens. Lady Cade, as most courtiers in this court. Is that right? This court? I don't know. Okay, I guess I'll say that. Let's change it. Have spies. Everyone has spies working for everyone. So we have a little spy that will tell us when Lady Hunter is leaving. So we head out to the courtyard of the castle. Effectively, large, open, circular space with a beautiful large tree with big white flowers sprouting everywhere. The castle courtyard is beautiful, filled with bushes with flowers and all kinds of things. Brianna walks into the garden. She kneels down and touches the soil where she can. Tries to get a feel. And then she closes her eyes and tries to sense magic. So, this will be a gather information, I guess, as well. Because when you search for clues, conduct investigation, analyze evidence, or do research. So yeah, this is going to be Brianna trying to see if there's any magic at work in the gardens. Let's go. Nice! Another strong hit with a match. Damn. We are on fire. So we take +2 momentum. And let me just adjust this. Whoop. Whoop. There we go. No, a little too low. Sorry about that interruption. All right, so you discover something helpful and specific. The path you must follow or action you must take to make progress is made clear. Envision what you learned, then take +2 momentum. What is this button? What is a story clue oracle? I never heard of the story clue oracle. That is awesome. When you gather information to investigate a mystery, you might uncover clues in the form of messages, rumors, eyewitnesses, data, or physical evidence. You can use this oracle to help reveal what this evidence connects to or implicates. Then use the outcome of gather information. Oh, that is awesome. I did not even know this oracle existed. Thank you. for putting it there. So, descriptor plus focus. Okay. No, let's reroll. Because I want something from. Involves a machine or technology. In this case, I think it involves magic, as we said. There is effectively some kind of spell, but not a spell per se. Someone has tainted this ground. Possibly the same spy that gave away the envoy's position and secret passage to Kiara has also tainted the ground of the courtyard. Most likely, this would create possibly a plague in the courtyard, possibly something else. Regardless, it would definitely be something very negative. Brianna makes note of this. Sorry, the nobleman who's having these dreams possibly has a little bit of magical affinity, and having perhaps touched the ground or something else, saw this subconsciously in his dreams. Brianna makes note of this to inform this to the Sorcerer's Guild. But first, she must deal with this tainted ground before it gets out of control. So I'm going to say that this is definitely progress on our looked into the cursed nobles vow. And now, I believe we must analyze this tainted soil and see what we can do to counteract this effect. Of course, Brianna is not a specialist of this kind of thing, so we are going to seek out an alchemist. An alchemist in the city for that. So let's just go ahead and say that Brianna prepares her things, and then she is going to follow Lady Hunter out into the city. And once she sees where she has headed, then she will, investigate. And eventually after that investigation gives us a lead, she will go and find an alchemist and look into this tainted soil. So that's exactly what we are going to do. So, one of her spies, a young boy who works inside the keep, comes to inform Brianna that Lady Hunter is about to head out. Brianna thanks the boy, giving him 1 golden coin for his service, and tells him to keep it up. And then she prepares herself, putting on I don't know if it's a scarf or something to cover the cold. And she will not be disguising herself, but she will be doing something else. So what she will be doing is she will be using her shade asset. Drawing on esoteric energies, you may instantly cloak your form in the shadowy veil of the void. When you are veiled and make a move to ambush, hide, or sneak, you may present your action die to 5. In darkness, make it 6. On a miss, in addition to any other cost, you are revealed and can't veil yourself again until the current situation is resolved. So she, wraps herself up in something. She puts her hand to her orange necklace, and let's put some mysterious, mystical music. Daydreams sounds perfect. Oh yes, let's leave this one. And she begins to mumble some words as suddenly you can see the energies around her slowly materializing and coalescing around her. Little light blue dots, some of them purple. They slowly turn into a dark, dark color, swirling little blobs, touching her, expanding around her, shaping her, changing her, and then she is gone. She opens her eyes. Everything is a swirl, very much like in Lord of the Rings, you know, that kind of like... She is in basically an alternate plane, the void, where she can move through without anyone seeing her. She begins to walk. Other people begin to pass by as she can see them. She avoids their, you know, crashing into them, and she moves through this swirling, dark blue void world. And we are going to make a face danger move or is this a secure advantage? We talked about this on the Discord. When you assess the situation, make preparations, or attempt to gain leverage. I don't think I'm doing any of that. I am just following them. I'm attempting something risky. With stealth, I am rolling plus shadow. But, it says here, I present my action die to 5. Plus shadow is 2. That's a 7. So I need 6 or less. As I roll... Oh, wait. That wasn't the one I wanted to roll, but that's fine, because that's a 7 and a 4. Okay, so that's a weak hit. So it says, on a weak hit, you succeed, but not without a cost. Make a suffer move, -1. So I think this is probably stressful. I'm going to say -4 spirit. Moving through this ethereal void plane takes its toll on Brianna. And she effectively follows Lady Hunter out the city gates, into the city, through the crowds. Eventually, where does she get to? Let's find out. What oracle could we use here? A location oracle might be nice. No, not the location oracle. Which is the other one? Is it the zones? No. Is it the area one? Ah, there was one. There was a location. Wasn't there a location one? Ah, it doesn't matter. Let's just roll on the core oracle. I'll look it up later. Let's see where she goes. Unstable hideaway. Okay, that is perfect. Unstable hideaway. We follow her to very much the lower part of town, with few seedy characters looking at Lady Hunter, but her escort pushing them away to the side as they make way for her. And in this very, very shady part of town, Lady Hunter walks down some steps into basically a basement of some kind. It is completely unmarked. It is a building that practically seems abandoned or destroyed. It's made out of stone and wood. The windows are all boarded up. But this basement, Lady Hunter steps down to it, knocks on the door opens, and they go in, and then the door closes, and Brianna unveils herself, breathing a little bit. She looks down and she says, She thinks to herself, she doesn't say. I wonder who's there. And we're gonna go back to some peaceful music. So, what can she do now? She obviously doesn't stop right there in front of the door, but like just around the corner or behind some place where she can hide. She can't just barge in or see what's happening. unless she were to get into the house and try to listen in from above to the basement. That sounds like an interesting thing. All right. Is there an easy way to get into this house? I think that's probably an Ask the Oracle. I mean, it's abandoned and destroyed, but we said it was boarded up. I'm going to say 50-50. So, is getting into this structure on top of the basement hard? It is. It is. It is definitely blocked up. Brianna considers using her fire powers, but that would obviously alert the people under. I think she's just gonna wait. She's going to wait a while, yes. And she's simply going to hide and wait until Lady Hunter leaves. And I'm gonna say that after maybe 2 hours or something that feels like that, the door to the basement opens and Lady Hunter with her escort leaves the basement, and looking around to make sure no one's there, Brianna quickly hiding, she heads back to the castle. After that, Brianna, fully confident in her abilities, walks down the steps and knocks on the door. And let's put some suspense music here. Yes. Ta ta ta. She knocks on the door. The door begins to open with a voice saying, "What, did you forget something?" And they stop. And let's see who opens this door. I have no idea. No idea what's going on. Let's see. Ash. Uncanny look. Okay. His disposition is desperate. Oh, it's desperate because he recognizes who I am. He knows exactly who I am. And what's his role? A smuggler. I like this top. This, I love this pen. I love this. It's great. Having these 3 options. I did it again. Sorry about that. So, he is a smuggler. Let's make some notes here. Create journal entry. Session notes. Ash, the uncanny and desperate smuggler. Excellent. What else do we know about Ash? Secretive. Definitely. Very much secretive. And as I immediately noticed that he is desperate, tense, and I take charge of the situation, and having dressed completely in red, I make a small ball of fire, a little tiny thing appear in my hand. Oh, wait! My firebrand is at 0. So let's flash back and roll on this so we actually have some firepower. Otherwise, we don't even have fire magic to use. So it says here, when you rest and meditate to gather this energy, as we did in the castle before leaving, roll spirit. On a strong hit, take up to 3 fire. Alright, so we had 5 spirit back then. We obviously did this in the... I completely forgot that Brianna does this every morning. That is a weak hit. It says, on a weak hit, take +2. Okay, so we have 2. And our spirit is +4. Okay, there we go. So she makes a little... You know, a little tiny ball of fire. Not enough to actually, you know... I'm gonna say I'm gonna use it. Yeah. So we're gonna use this. Making the little tiny ball of fire. Not too tiny that it's not intimidating. She says... I believe we have a common acquaintance. And she takes a step forward as Ash begins to step back. A little drop of sweat immediately appearing on his forehead. Is it because of the nerves? Is it because of the radiant heat emanating from Brianna's hand and possibly just her entire body? She says, you will tell me everything that transpired here, or I will burn you until there is nothing but ash left. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I did not mean to make that pun. And Brianna probably didn't either because she doesn't know his name is Ash. I'm sorry, Ash. It's your destiny to burn, it seems. Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay, so we're going to sense here, your max fire, when you make moves aided by this energy to attack or overcome obstacles, add +2 and suffer -1 fire. So this is going to be a compel. It's going to be a compel with iron, as we are threatening or inciting, and we have a bonus of +2 thanks to our fire. So bam, there we go. And plus weak hit. Oh, but we can burn it to be a strong hit. Interesting. They'll do what you want or agree to your conditions, but their agreement will come with a demand or complication. Envision their counter offer and take +1 momentum. All right, so we take +1 momentum and their counter offer. What is their counter offer? I think their counter offer Let's see what the oracles say, so you don't just stare at me looking and thinking for the camera for 5 minutes. Explore passage. Fiery faction. Explore passage. I mean, obviously Ash wants to live and he will tell us everything, but the counter offer. What is the counter offer? I mean, the counter offer is they don't die. I think that's what they ask for. Their demand is that they will tell us everything as long as we promise them to keep them safe from Lady Hunter. Because Lady Hunter, as we know, is threatening and infamous. So she was probably either blackmailing Ash or something, or forcing him in some way or another. So Ash is actually more scared of Rowena than of us. So he says, yes, I will tell you everything, but please, you have to promise me that she won't get back at me. And Brianna says, if what you tell me is good enough, then Lady Rowena will, well, let's just say you'll be the last of her concerns. What does he tell us? He is a smuggler. Oh, this is perfect. Of course, he's a smuggler. So, he tells us that he has a secret route that goes through the sewers of the city, unknown to anyone. That this secret route, there's a in the sewers, there's an old abandoned passageway that no one's been there, and basically there's a bunch of there's a brick wall, but all the bricks are loose, and if you pop them all out, you have access to the outside, which leads through to a drain that leads through the swamp, and then you get out, and so on and so forth, right? It basically leads you to some swamps outside, and then you can get outside. And this passageway is the passageway that basically Rowena has been using, or, well, Ash uses to smuggle things in and out of the city. We still don't know what Rowena's been smuggling. It could be anything, it could be nothing. I guess we're gonna have to find out. What has Rowena been smuggling? And what does Ash tell us? Ash tells us that has Rowena been smuggling... I mean, I think we're already 1 hour in, so I think it's Rowena. And I think we can just say that, yeah, she has definitely been smuggling some shady things, and one of them has been messengers of Kiera. So they have been meeting perhaps in the sewers and exchanging information and packages. And once he saw a little pouch of something that looked magical and dangerous, and that was probably what was tossed in the thing. Okay, this is excellent. So Brianna heads out of there, which, with excellent progress on her quest to root the traitor out, she now knows that Rowena is certainly the traitor that has been causing all of these problems, greedy and power hungry as she is. Excellent. This is very, very good. Let's go ahead and put once again some peaceful music. So, what do we do next? We have no evidence aside from having seen her and this, and Ash being a witness, but it will not hold. So what can we do? What can we do? Well, her escort would probably give her up if forced to confession. Options, options, options. Ah! I'm out of water. Okay, pause a second while I get more water. And I'm back with water. All right, so let's just roll on some oracles to see if we can get an idea. That's like the best thing to do. Construct community. Oh, okay, I think I have some ideas. Undiscovered organism. Construct community, undiscovered organism. So I have an idea. Let's go find our alchemist. So, this is going to be a make connection move as we seek out an alchemist to help us with this problem. We're gonna roll heart. And nice. Not nice at all. Let's burn momentum. Yeah, make it a weak hit. Burn. Burn. There we go. Weak hit. You create a connection, but it comes with a complication or cost. Envision what they reveal or demand. Give the connection a roll and rank. Whatever your connection aids you in a move closely associated with the roll. Add +1 and take +1 momentum. Okay, so what do they reveal? What do they reveal or demand? That's weird. Complication or cost. Interesting. I think the demand or cost is that this person, this alchemist, also knows that I am Lady Cade and will definitely want a favor from me. Or some, you know, expect to be paid well or something or the other, you know. They expect something in return for this service, which doesn't seem quite noble-like. But perhaps they are very confident in that they are the best alchemist in the city. Curtis, the best alchemist in the city. And he says, you might go and look for others, but my lady, you will find none as good as I. And let's go ahead and write this. Curtis, the scarred and curious, scarred, curious, and determined. Scarred, curious, and determined alchemist. Alright, so we say fine, you know, and then we show him the sample, and together with his aid, we are going to try to see if there's a way to possibly counteract this spell or this ritual that is going on. So we are going to add +1 and take +1 momentum on a hit on this move. -1. And that is a nice weak hit. And we take +1 momentum and +1 for the weak hit. The information provides new insight, but also complicates your quest. Envision what you discover. Okay, so I think what we discover, I think the spell probably requires very particular ingredients to counteract. Ingredients that are probably not available in the city. But if we were to obtain the original pouch or components, perhaps if Lady Hunter has been told that she needs to frequently sprinkle this on the ground every day, perhaps there is still a sample in Lady Hunter's bedroom. So we must obtain the sample from her. And I think that's perfect because there's our evidence, and the both quests are pretty closely linked. Brianna thanks the alchemist, says she will be back with that sample, and leaves, heading back towards the castle. Now, is Hunter aware of Cade's movements? I'm gonna say that it's likely she is. And yes, she is. So will she have laid a trap for Lady Cade? Is she aware of the investigations going on? I think she has. So I'm going to say that to cover herself, I think perhaps I'm going to say that We haven't encountered a major obstacle now. No, I'm gonna say that, yeah, she makes her way back to the castle. And she must now infiltrate Lady Hunter's offices, so to speak. In some way or another. And how will Brianna do this? I think she's going to have to use her veil power to try. And this is probably going to be very risky. So basically what she's going to do is she's going to use her veil powers and then open the door or try to get in quickly. I think that's what she's probably going to do. She's going to try to get in quickly as Hunter is leaving or coming in or something like that. It's going to be very risky, but she's going to try to do that. So let's go ahead and put some suspense mystical. I like that. So we are going to use our shade asset. And we are going to make a face danger move with stealth or trickery. So that is a 7. So we need 6 or less. And that is an 8 and a 7. That is a miss. You fail or a momentary success is undermined by a turn of events. On a miss, in addition to any other cost, you are revealed and can't veil yourself again until the current situation is resolved. This is not good. This is the worst possible result. Oh my god. Oh my god. This... A sorcerer caught in the act. What do we do? What do we do? Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. What do we do? What do we do? So basically, we're trying to get in through the door, and then, as we're veiled, everything like that, and as we're trying to do this, she very quickly shuts the door. It all happens at the same time. Door closes, the magic fades. Lady Hunter is right next to me. Her 2 guards, her escort that were standing outside the doors, are right there. And I'm standing right there like, oh shit. And she turns around and she says, Lady Cade, what is the meaning of this? Are you using your magic to intrude into my offices? And she says that with like a false exaggerated, oh, how dare you? You know, and she's obviously been doing sneaky stuff as well. And, oof, how do we recover from this one? How the hell do we recover from this one? Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I'm gonna say that she stands her ground and says, Lady Hunter, I have reason to believe that you are a traitor to the Queen. And the evidence lies in your office. I have come to retrieve it and to hand you over to justice. The 2 guards look at each other. They look at Hunter. We are the only people here. And Lady Hunter kind of sighs and says, you know, I would have kept you in the council. And she turns around before walking away and tells her escort, kill her. The guards unsheathe their swords, and this is going to be pretty bad as I only have one fire, but we can cheat the system and we can use the battle move. That is the way to cheat everything. So, let's go ahead and this one. I like this one. The guards take their swords out. Brianna stands there as Hunter begins to walk away, and both of them are going to charge at her to obviously overpower and kill her, and then discard the body in some way or another. They did not think about that too long, did they? But we're going to solve this with a battle move. When you fight the battle and it happens in a blur, blah, 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 fight in close to overpower your foe, roll iron. I think that's probably what we're doing. And even if it's edge, it's still the same. But fight depending on your courage, no. Careful tactics to outsmart your foes. I think I'm just gonna try to burn them to death. Or at least to significant injury, let's say. So that's going to be an iron with a bonus of 2 thanks to our fire. Let's see how that goes. Oh, nice. That's a strong hit. Excellent. So what happens is the guards come close and Brianna basically lights up her both hands on fire and to the sides sends out blasts of fire. The guards, one of them caught on fire, hits a curtain. The curtain catches on fire. The guard is screaming. The other one is singed and burned. Is lying on the floor. And as this happens, Lady Hunter she turns around, sees this, and begins to flee, running out of the scene. And we are going to have to chase her. And let's go ahead and, as music's fine, as we are chasing her through the halls of the castle, trying to prevent her escape. This is going to be a face danger with edge. Oh, it says here we take +2 momentum. Excellent, after defeating the guards. So, no bonuses, +1. Okay, it's a miss, so we're gonna burn our momentum to turn it into a weak hit. Burn our momentum. There we go. Make a suffer move. I'm gonna say health. Brianna is not used to running around the castle grounds or anything, but she runs after Lady Hunter and eventually catches up to her, jumping onto her, tossing and turning in the ground, as they fall downstairs, perhaps. There we go. And landing outside in the courtyard. And several of the guards appear, like, what is happening? And Lady Cade, holding Hunter down, says, we have the traitor. Tell the queen that I have found the traitor. And this is definitely progress on our quest. And I think as the rest of that is happening, as they are taking her prisoner, as all of this situation is being resolved, let's go back to some... All right, 2 songs. So we're gonna head back to Hunter's office, and we are going to search for this little pouch that had this concoction that we need to solve. And I don't think this is a gather information. Possibly a secure an advantage. Because When you search for clues, or we just simply find it. I think it makes sense that we find it. Or face danger. I don't think so. It's very interesting. Let's see. I think this is a secured advantage, yes. So let's just make a secure advantage with observation as we search her room for this thing. Oh, strong hit, which a match. That's brilliant. We add +2 and take +1 on our next move. So, as all of, like I said, all of this is happening, the spy master is probably interrogating her at this point. Cade is going to be debriefed, but she quickly disappears herself from the castle grounds to go to the alchemist and, with his aid, make another secure advantage as we prepare the counter reagent, the counter spell to this other ritual. And for that, since we have the +1 from earlier and we have the +1 from our connection, we are going to be rolling with a total of +2, and we're going to be rolling wits. And we get a strong hit again, so we get a +6 and a +1 on our next move, which will be to do the counter ritual. But before that, let's not forget we have before that, as we enter the castle grounds again, this time we are faced with the guards who find us and say, "Lady Cade, the queen requests your presence immediately." And we are basically taken almost by force to where the queen is, and she is up in her quarters as we enter the bedroom, not the bedroom, more her office, so to speak. She turns to look at us and she says, "Where have you been? The moment that Lady Hunter was captured, the guards say that you left, that you disappeared." And Cade bows, Brianna bows. She says, "My queen, I was simply dealing with another matter of urgency." And she explains the corrupted tree and everything. I'm sorry for my sudden disappearance. I simply wanted to act with haste. And the queen sighs and says, "You must keep me informed of all these things. Do you understand, Lady Cade?" She says that Lady Cade. Brianna says, "Yes, of course, my queen." And the queen later tells her the spy master wants to speak to you. She wants to debrief you on what you know happened and everything. So, Brianna heads down to the spy master's quarters, and spy master's quarters are not too far from the dungeons themselves. The room is bare, Spartan, so to say. She is sitting across a desk. It almost feels like her offices themselves are in an interrogation room. And she does a little bit interrogate Brianna. How did you chase her? How did you know this? How do you know that? What happened here? What happened that? Brianna does not reveal her powers. She simply tells half-truths, And this is going to be definitely a compel. But first, I'm going to do the following. As she sits there across the table from Bruna, she is going to use her powers of empath to feel the intent and the emotions. What does Bruna want to hear? So with that, we're going to roll heart. And oof, that is a miss On a miss, you reveal a troubling motive or secret. So as we're sitting there being interrogated by Bruna, Brianna subtly reaches into Bruna's mind and reaches out to a small memory of Hunter and Bruna discussing. The words are very far away, but it almost the memory is fuzzy. It's all befuddled and it's not exact. That the words begin to form. She gets the sensation that Bruna knew. Bruna knew what Rowena was doing. Was she playing both sides? Was she seeing who would win in the end? Brianna's not sure. She doesn't have enough to go on. But she's definitely unnerved by this. So, we are going to try and lie our way out of this with Shadow. So, here we go. And, oof, that is a miss. On a miss, they refuse or make a demand that costs you greatly. I think Bruna looks at us and says, let's change the music. Let's put some suspense. She looks at us and she says, "Do you know what I think, Lady Cade?" Brianna smiles politely, that false smile, and says, "No, please, by all means, do tell." "I believe you are lying. I believe you have more powers than you claim. I believe you use these powers to spy on council members. Did you know that Lady Hunter claims you were trying to invisibly enter her bedroom?" Brianna suddenly thinks, "Oh, idiot! Of course she was gonna get out of the confession." And Brianna simply smiles and says, "I wonder," says Bruna. "These powers you have that you use without rein, do you perhaps use them to spy on others? To leave the keep without being noticed? To enter and exit the city gates?" Brianna stands up and she says, "I believe I have already explained myself, Lady Nazari. I'm sure you can put the rest together." She smiles and moves to leave. And Bruna looks at her and says, "I will keep my eye on you, Lady Cade. Do not think for 1 second that you are all powerful in this castle." Brianna smiles and walks out, fully aware that she has made another enemy, and that she must now be very careful of how she uses her powers. And, well, she is also a bit worried about that memory that she saw. Let's go ahead and roll to finish the Root the Traitor out and see how that ends. Or first, Actually, first, while the whole deliberations and everything goes on, I'm going to say that we we perform the ritual. That's right. We go to the courtyard, and we begin to walk around it, and we toss this counter regent into the dirt as we chant along to counteract the effects of this other ritual that was put into effect. Now, let's remember that I have a +1 from the secure advantage earlier that we got. And let's see how this goes. Let's see if this works out or not. Strong hit! You are successful. Take +1 momentum. I'm going to say that that definitely marks progress on our quest. And let's first roll on this one, and then we'll roll on that one to see how this ends as Brianna walks around the garden, tossing these this counter regent. Oh, that's a 3 and a 6. Excellent. So that is a weak hit. Let's see what a weak hit means on a quest. Fulfill your vow on a weak hit as above, but there is more to be done, or you realize the truth of your quest. Interesting. If you swear an iron vow to set things right, take your full legacy reward. Otherwise, make the reward 1 rank lower. Okay, so what I believe we find here is that this will definitely counteract the major effects of what was happening, but the poison or spell that was in effect has already weakened the great white tree of the courtyard, and it will slowly die without further intervention. So that is the more to be done. So ideally we could here write a new troublesome quest and call it Save the White Tree. And then we could roll on that if we were to continue this. And I like that. I like that a lot. And let's see what happens with rooting the traitor out. Another weak hit. I like that. I like that because there is definitely more to be done as you realize the truth of your quest. I believe there is. Let's go and put some. Let's see if we can use our epic music. I like this a lot. Yes, epic suspense. What about this one? Soul Knife? So there's this big scene, you know, a public trial as the queen speaks out, judging Lady Hunter as a traitor, sentencing her to execution and everything, you know, and after this is all done, the queen gives a big speech, you know, saying, we will persevere, we will prevail, we will not let any traitors survive in our midst. This is our land, our city. And, you know, and the people in the trial go, ah, everyone's clapping and everything. And Brianna is nodding. And then she quickly glances to the side as Bruna Nazari is looking at her with a very thin smile on her face. And they share a small moment as if they both know. They both know. But Brianna has no evidence. And with that scene at the trial, everyone celebrating, clapping, the queen standing above, victorious, and all of this happening, is where we will end this session. Oh, that was really good. Wait, sorry. 1 second. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. So many pauses today. Okay, so I really enjoyed that. It was a bit long, but it was still lots of fun. I hope you all enjoyed it as well. As always, I would like to thank everyone. Sean Tomkin for making this amazing game. Mihail for the logos and the art. Ben Straub for the amazing module that runs so smoothly and perfectly. I love it. Ian Fisher, the music. As always, Ian, wonderful work. I love it so much. And for this background image that I've used today, it is a stock art. It's a photograph taken by Victor Lavaud, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. So where can you find, well, there's a Twitter and Discord in the links below. If you want to join us. Don't forget, if you really enjoyed it, don't forget to like and subscribe, share the video, and other stuff like that. And of course, as always, a huge thank you to you, the viewers that watch this. I always say it makes my day to see people enjoying this. I enjoy this, and I'm glad you all enjoy this. And I will be seeing you next time. I will be posting, not tomorrow, but the day after, a new poll to see what setting we play. Thank you all. Goodbye.